Welcome to Mohan's Teaching Corner. Today we are going to discuss about the psychology of individual differences. So let us understand human uniqueness through the lens of psychological science. So what are the individual differences? The definition says that the unique ways people are different from each other in their thought and feeling. The key aspects are these includes difference in how people think, their personalities, and how they act. So the significance is that it helps us to understand why people are diverse in schools and social groups. So why do individual difference matters for us? Just as two fingerprints are identical, so every human mind possesses unique characteristics that shape learning, behavior, and achievement. So understanding these differences enable the personalized education and optimal human development. So there is a cognitive individual differences. So difference in intelligence, difference in memory, difference in attention. So variation in general cognitive abilities, problem solving skills, academic aptitude across individual. This comes under intelligence differences. Then memory. So difference in working memory capacity, long-term retention and recall strategies. Attentions. So individual variance in concentration, concentration span, selective attention and information processing speed. So these are the cognitive individual differences: intelligence, memory and attention. So personality and emotional differences. So the personality traits are extraversion and introversion, openness to express, then conciseness levels emotional stability. So there is a physical and sensory variation. So physical attributes, so individual variation in height, weight, motor coordination and physical strength. Then sensory abilities, difference in visual acuity, hearing sensitivity and tactical perception across individuals. So the motor skills, so individual variation in the development and proficiency of fine and gross motor skill. So the physical and sensor variations are physical attributes, sensor abilities and motor skills. So you can observe these things in the pictures mentioned here. Then distribution of individual difference. So most of the psychological traits follows a normal distribution pattern, the famous bell curve. This means most people cluster around an average with a fewer individual at the extreme ends. So here what determines the individual difference? What is the reason behind the individual difference among the people? One is the heredity, then environment, then interaction. Heredity. So heredity like genetic factors which we are inherited from our parents. Then environment. So it is the external influence that and experiences. Interaction. So it is a complex interplay between genes and environment. Then the role of heredity. So exploring how the genetic inheritance shapes individual characteristics. So what is heredity? So it is passing traits. It is how traits like how our eyes color or weight are passed from our parents to children through genes. So the heredity includes our DNA blueprint. So these traits are stored in our DNA and chromosomes, shaping our physical and mental qualities. So foundational start, like heredity gives us a natural starting point, so influence our growth and potentiality. So what is the role of genes in individual difference? So genes, what is the functions of genes? So it determines our physical characters, it influences cognitive abilities, it is affects our temperament and personality, and it set the development timeline. So here is the important things is genes provides potential, not destiny. So environmental factors significantly influence how our genetic potential is expressed. So what is the role of environment? So let us understand how the external factors shape our individual differences. So what is environment? So the environment includes physical environment, social environment, and cultural environment. So the physical environment includes home, school, neighborhood conditions that influence development. Then social environment, like uh, like in the family, with the peers, with the teachers, and community relationships. Then cultural environments, which includes language, traditions, values, and other social expectation. So environment factors influences the differences. Prenatal, so mother's health, nutrition, and stress during the pregnancy also affects our individual differences. In the childhood, so how the parenting style, how the early education takes place, and how the social interactions take place in childhood and early childhood. Then in school years, so education quality, relationship with the peers and friends, and learning opportunity. Then adolescence, so social pressure, identify information, and cultural influences. So these are the environmental factors: prenatal, early childhood, school years, and adolescence. So nature versus nurture. So the age old debate is that, are we product of our genes or our experience? So modern psychology recognize that both factors work together in complex ways. So nature as well as how nurtures both are make the individual difference equally. So here relative importance, that is heredity versus environment. So intelligence, the intelligence of the persons, approximately 50% of heredity influences our intelligence, and around 40% of our personality influenced by genetic contribution. Then about the academic achievement, roughly 60% environment factors. So these percentages vary significantly depend on the specific trait and individual circumstances. So education implications. So how it is going to be, if you know the individual difference, how it is going to be implemented in the classroom. So recognition, so acknowledge that students have different learning styles and abilities. Okay. Adaptation, so you have to modify the teaching methods to accommodate the diverse learning needs. Support, so provide the appropriate resources and assistance for all the learners. So what is the provisions uh, for the individual difference in schools? In the classroom strategies, so there is a differentiated instruction, then flexible grouping should be there, then we should not depend on only one way of assessment, there should be a multiple assessment method, then the learning should be a personalized learning plans, so it should not be a common, then support system should be a, so special education service should be there, counseling program should be conducted, then enrich the opportunities, then remedial intervention should be there. So this is the provision for the individual differences in school. So what we have learned is universal truth. So individual differences are natural and valuable aspects of human diversity. Then complex interaction. As we discussed, both heredity and environment contributes to shaping individual characters. So education responsibilities that schools must accommodate and celebrate these differences to ensure all the students secure. So do subscribe this particular Mohan's teaching corner, and this particular PPT I am going to post in the app. The app name is Mohan's teaching corner. Do download my app and you will get all the related study material in the app. Do like and subscribe. Thank you. All the best for your coming examination.